Hello students, in this video we are going to study our next chapter, that is chapter number 6. The chapter name is Physical and Chemical Changes. Class 7, Subject Science NCERT. In this chapter we are going to study about the physical and chemical changes which are taking place around us in our day-to-day life. So here let me start with the chapter. Every day you come across many changes in your surroundings, and these changes may involve one or more substance. The examples are given to you. Your mother may ask you to dissolve sugar in water to make the cold drink. So while making a sugar solution, so this one is the change. You are dissolving sugar into the water. So here you will get the solution of sugar. So this is the change. Similarly, that the setting curd from milk is a change. Here from the milk you will get the curd. So this is also a change. And sometimes milk becomes sour, and souring of milk is a change. So this one is also change. Sometimes if you had noticed, then milk gets spoiled. So this is also a change. The another example is stretched rubber band also represents a change. If you will stretch rubber band or spring, then there is also change because the size of the length of the rubber band is increase or it change. So that's why it is also known as the one kind of change. So now you can make the list of such changes you have noticed around you. Like making chapati from the dough, then after baking chapati, making aeroplane or toy aeroplane from the piece of paper. So these are all are the blowing the balloon. So these all are the examples of the changes which are occurring around you. So in this chapter we shall perform some activities and we'll study the nature of these changes. And broadly these changes are of two kinds, that is physical and chemical changes. The changes which are happening or occurring around us are broadly classified into two categories, that is physical changes and chemical changes. So here now let me first see what is physical changes. So for that one activity is given to you, that is activity number 6.1. For that you require a piece of paper. So cut a piece of paper in 4 square pieces and cut each square piece further into 4 square pieces. Here in the figure it is shown to you. First you have to cut this piece of paper into 4 square, that is 1, 2, 3 and 4. And then after you have to cut this square into further 4 parts, that is 1, 2, 3 and 4. So now lay these pieces on the floor or a table so that the pieces acquire or it gets the shape of original piece of paper. Like this, here it is shown to you in the figure. You have to arrange these square pieces like this so that these pieces of paper it get the shape of the original piece of paper. So obviously you cannot join the pieces back to make the original piece, as for once you tear it out. But is there a change in the property of the paper, or the paper will get changed? No, the paper will remain the same, but the size will be reduced, or we divided the size according to the squares. So from this activity we can observe that on cutting the paper its size decreases, but the piece of paper and original paper have the same material, and that is paper only. If we had taken it pink color, so it will remain pink. So we can say that cutting of a paper into pieces is the physical change. It is a kind of physical change. Now to get this understand very well, next one another activity is given to you also. Activity 6.2. For this you need a chalk. So collect the chalk dust laying on the floor near the chalkboard in your classroom. And right now you are not in the classroom, so you can also take a small piece of chalk and then after you can crush it. Then after add a little water to the dust of this chalk to make a paste. And after making the paste, you have to roll it into shapes of a piece of chalk and let it dry. That means after breaking the chalk into dust, you have to again make the chalk. So now the question is that did you recover the chalk from the dust? So if we will perform this activity, you will find that crushing the chalk into dust is the same dust can be shaped into chalk. From the same dust you can make the chalk again. So this is also a physical change and it is the reversible change as we can get the chalk again. Now next activity is given to you, that is activity number 6.3. For that you have to take some ice in a glass or a plastic tumbler. And then after melt a small portion of this ice by placing this tumbler in the sun. Or you can heat also this. So in short you have to melt some portion of the ice. So now you will get a mixture of ice and water. And then after place this tumbler in a freezing mixture, that is ice plus common salt. Freezing mixture, that means the mixture of two or more than two materials, that is like ice, water, salt, which is used to produce the temperature which is below the freezing temperature of water. That means to freeze the water we are using this freezing mixture. Here you can take ice plus common salt. In short, you have to again freeze this solution or the mixture of ice and water. And now the question is that does the water become solid ice once again? So yes, we already know that when we put the mixture of ice and water of the glass tumbler in the refrigerator, so we will observe that after some times water changes to solid ice once again. And the change in the state of this material is the reversible change. We can say that this reversible and irreversible change that you had already studied in standard 6. The changes which can be in which we can bring the original material again or bring back the original material. So those kind of changes are known as the reversible changes. And the changes in which we cannot bring back the original material, so that kind of change is known as the irreversible change. So here this change is reversible change. Next activity 6.4 is given to you. For this you have to boil some water in a container. So while boiling this, do you see the steam rising from the surface of water? If you will boil the water, you will find that steam is rising from the surface of water. So hold an inverted pan by its handle over the steam at some distance from boiling water. Then after you have to hold the pan, inverted pan, or you can also take the plate. So you have to hold this plate or the pan by the handle at some distance from the boiling water. And then after observe the inner surface of the pan. So did you see any droplets of water there? So after performing this activity or otherwise while your mother boiling the milk, and if you cover the milk with the plate, then you will observe that if the milk is hot, you will find the water droplets on the other side of the plate. Or otherwise you can also perform this activity. So after performing this activity, you will find that water droplets are seen on the inner surface of the pan. So the change in the state of this substance is a physical change. And here we are converting water into its vapor form. Next activity number 5, that is 6.5 is given to you. Here you have to take a precaution that be careful while handling a flame. So now let me see what is the activity. Hold a used hacksaw blade with a pair of tongs. Now what is hacksaw? Let me see. So this is the hacksaw about which we are talking in this activity. and this one is the inverted pan, which we had talked about in a earlier activity. So as you had seen the hacksaw, you have to use the blade of this hacksaw with the pair of tongs and keep the tip of the free end of this blade on the gas stove. That means you have to hit the blade from the one of its end. Wait for a few minutes, and then after does the color of the tip of the blade change? You have to observe the color of the blade after heating this for few minutes. And then after remove the blade from the flame and observe the tip once again after some time. So does it get back its original color? So after performing this activity, you will find that when the hacksaw blade is heated strongly, then it appears reddish. Or if you had noticed then when we are heating some objects which is made up of iron, then for a few minutes, after heating it for a few minutes, its color will get changed. It will appear somewhat reddish, and on cooling its reddish color disappears and it regains its original color. So yes, this is the change in the color of the metal on the heating, and this is the physical change. So here, as we had discussed in the activity 6.1 and 6.2, you saw that the paper and piece of chalk underwent changes in size. In the activity 6.1 and 6.2, we had seen that there is the change in the sizes. Then after in activities 6.3 and 6.4, we had seen that water changed its state. That is, from in the 6.3 we had seen that water changes from solid to liquid state, and 6.4 we had seen that it changes from gaseous state to the liquid state. And in activity 6.5 we had seen that the color of the hacksaw blade changed on heating. So such properties such as shape, size, color and state of a substance, so this all our property is known as the physical properties. And the change in which the substance undergo a change in its physical properties is called a physical change. The change in which this kind of physical properties get changed, these kind of changes are known as the physical changes. And the physical properties are size, shape, color and state of any substance. And in such a change, no new substance is formed. And while these physical changes, the new substance or new material we cannot find, or the new substance is not formed. So this is all about the physical change. Now let we consider the one another change, other kind of the change, that is chemical change. So change with which you are quite familiar is rusting of iron. So this rusting of iron is also a kind of change. And if you leave a piece of iron in an open for some time, it acquires a film of brownish substance. If you will keep the iron in the open for some time, you will find that this iron object or iron substance, it will get a film or thin layer of brownish substance on it. So this substance is called rust, and this process is known as the rusting. Here in the figure it is shown to you, this pen get rusted as it is placed in the open area, so it get rusted. And this process is known as the rusting. And iron gets, like the examples are given to you, that iron gets of parks or farmland, then after iron benches kept in lawns and gardens, and almost every article which is made up of iron, when it kept in the open area, then it gets rusted. And at home also, you must have seen the shovels and spades which we are using for the farming practice, so they getting rusted when exposed to the air. So this is the rusting of iron, the kind of change or the chemical change. And in the kitchen, wet iron pan, or you can say tawa, often gets rusted if it left in that state, or it is left wait for some time. And here, as the material, we are getting rust, and rust is not iron, it is the new kind of substance. So it is the different from iron on which it gets deposited. So this is known as the chemical change in which we are getting a new substance. So now let me consider few more changes or examples in which the new substance are formed. So here for that activity is given to you, activity number 6.6. This activity you should not have to try at your home. Precaution is given to you that it is dangerous to look for long at the burning of magnesium ribbon. If you will continuously look at the burning of magnesium ribbon constantly, then it will be dangerous. And the teachers should advise children not to stare at burning ribbon. So now let me see what is the activity. For this, get a small piece of thin strip or ribbon of magnesium. For this, we require a thin sheet or thin small piece of thin strip of magnesium or the magnesium ribbon. Then after clean it, tip with sandpaper. Then after we have to clean this magnesium ribbon with the help of sandpaper. Sandpaper is a kind of paper which is used to remove the rust from the metal. Now bring the tip near a candle flame. It burns with a brilliant white color. Here in the figure you can see that how it is burning. It will burn with the brilliant bright light, and when it is completely burned, it leaves behind a powdery ash. It will left a powdery ash after it gets completely burned. So now does the ash look like the magnesium ribbon? So now obviously the ash is different from the magnesium ribbon. So the change here which is take place can be represented by this following equation. That means magnesium plus oxygen, magnesium represented by Mg, it will react with oxygen, that is O2, and at the end it will form magnesium oxide, that is MgO. Here the equation are the different from the equation in the maths. Those of the maths, here in this equation of this kind, the arrow implies become. That means arrow means become. Here as you can see, here it is shown to you arrow. That means whatever is there on the left side of the arrow, they are reacting with each other, and whatever there is in the right side of the arrow, they are producing after this reaction. And no attempt should be made to balance the chemical equation at this stage. Here our equation is not balanced, and how to balance this kind of equation, that you will study in the higher classes. Now collect the ash. After getting the ash by burning the magnesium ribbon, so after collecting the ash, mix it with a small amount of water. And then after stir the mixture well, so you will get the aqueous solution of this ash. And taste the mixture with blue and red litmus paper. You have to taste the solution with the blue and red litmus paper. So, and then after you have to find these questions. Answer of this question, that does the mixture turns red litmus paper blue, or does the mixture turns blue litmus into red? And on the basis of this test, how do you classify the aqueous solution, whether it is acidic or basic? So after performing this activity or on dissolving the ash in water, it forms a new substance. And this change can be written in the form of this equation. The equation is given to you here, that whatever ash we get, that is magnesium oxide, that is represented by MgO. It will react with water, or we are dissolving this ash in the water, so plus water, that means H2O, and by this reaction it will give you a magnesium hydroxide, that means MgOH twice. And you had already learned that in the chapter 5 that magnesium hydroxide is a base, so magnesium oxide is a new substance formed on the burning of magnesium, And the magnesium hydroxide is another new substance formed by the mixing magnesium oxide with the water. Here the magnesium hydroxide is the base, so it will turn red litmus paper into blue. And it is the chemical change in which we are getting magnesium oxide and at the end magnesium hydroxide, which are the two new substances. Now one another activity or the example for this kind of change is given to you in activity number 6.7. This activity should also be demonstrated by the teachers only. You should not have to try this at your home. Now for this activity, dissolve about a teaspoonful of copper sulfate about half a cup of water in a glass tumbler or a beaker. In a beaker or a glass tumbler, you have to fill it with a half cup of water, and then after you have to dissolve 1 teaspoon of copper sulfate in the water. The copper sulfate is also known as the blue vitriol or Neela Thotha. Now then after dissolving copper sulfate, you have to add a few drops of dilute sulfuric acid to this solution. Here dilute sulfuric acid works as a catalyte, that means a substance which is used to make the chemical reaction faster. So that's why we are adding few drops of dilute sulfuric acid. Then after you should get a blue color solution. This solution you will get of blue color. Then after save a small sample of this solution in a test tube or small glass bottle. For the comparison purpose, you have to take a small sample of this solution in the another vessel. And then after drop a nail or a used shaving blade into the remaining solution. Then after you have to add the iron nail or the used shaving blade in the solution. Then after wait for half an hour or so and observe the color of the solution. After half an hour you have to again observe the color of the solution and compare this color of the solution with the sample solution which we saved separately. Here in the figure it is shown to you. Earlier when we are dissolving this copper sulfate in the water, it will look like color. And when after adding this shaving blade in the solution, after half an hour the color of the solution will get changed and it will look in greenish in color. So the questions are now that, do you see any change in the color of this solution? Then after take out the nail or the blade. So has it changed in any way? So from this activity we can say that the changes that you notice are due to the reaction between copper sulfate and iron. The change of color of solution from blue to green is due to the formation of iron sulfide or the chemical reaction between copper sulfate and iron. And the reddish brown deposit on the surface of the blade is the copper, the another new substance. So here it is given to you, due to the formation of the iron sulfate, which is a new substance, the color of the solution will get changed and the brown deposit on the iron nail is copper, which is another new substance. So we can write this reaction by this following equation, that copper sulfate solution, which was blue in color, it will react with the iron or iron blade and at the end it will produce iron sulfate solution, which is green in color, and copper, which is deposited or brown deposit on the blade. So here also the new substance are formed, so that's why this change is chemical change. Next, now one another example is given to you, that is activity number 6.8. For this activity you need a teaspoonful of vinegar. So take the teaspoonful of vinegar in the test tube and add a pinch of baking soda in this vinegar. And you would hear a hissing sound and see bubbles of a gas coming out. After adding the baking soda, you will hear the hissing sound which is produced because of the gases, and you will also observe the bubbles of gas which is coming out from this solution. So pass this gas through the freshly prepared lime water. You had already studied how to prepare lime water, so pass this gas whatever form through the lime water. And what happens to the lime water, that you have to observe. It is given to you in the next figure. Here, this is the arrangement for this activity. Here in the first test tube, the vinegar and baking soda are mixed with each other, and then after the gas is formed and this gas is passed through this pipe, and in the another test tube lime water is there. So after reaction of this gas and lime water, let me see what is the produce. So the change in the test tube is as follow. Whatever the changes are happening in the test tube are, the equation first is shown to you. The vinegar is acetic acid, it is also known as the acetic acid, and in that we had added baking soda, that means sodium hydrogen carbonate, and after this reaction we will get carbon dioxide and other substance. Here the carbon dioxide is produced, so that's why we can see the bubbles in this solution. And the reaction between now carbon dioxide and lime water is represented by this equation. The carbon dioxide, that means CO2 plus lime water, it can be also known as the calcium hydroxide, CaOH twice. So at the end it will give you a calcium carbonate, that means CaCO3, and water, that is H2O. So from this activity we can say that the chemical reaction between vinegar and baking soda take place and the bubbles of carbon dioxide are coming out. And the chemical reaction between carbon dioxide and lime water take place and the calcium carbonate is formed. And the calcium carbonate is a white substance that is insoluble in liquid, which makes the lime water milky. So the change occurring on mixing vinegar and baking soda is the chemical change or chemical reaction. So here it is given to you that when carbon dioxide is passed through the lime water, the calcium carbonate is formed, and which makes the lime water milky. And the turning of this lime water into milky is a standard test of carbon dioxide, or to check the presence of carbon dioxide. And you will use this test in the chapter number 10 to show that the air we breathe out is rich in carbon dioxide, or to check the presence of carbon dioxide. So here now in activity 6.6 to 6.8, we had seen that in each change one or more new substances are formed. And in the activity 6.6, the ash was the new substance formed when the magnesium ribbon was burnt in the air. That we had seen in the first example. Then after in the activity number 6.7, we had seen that the reaction of copper sulfate with iron produce iron sulfate and copper, which are the new substance. And copper was deposited on the shaving blade of iron. And in the last activity, that is activity number 6.8, in the vinegar and baking soda together produce carbon dioxide, which turn lime water into milky. So now can you name the new substance formed in this reaction that we had already studied, that is calcium carbonate is formed during this reaction. So now from these all examples, we can say that the change in which one or more new substances are formed is called a chemical change. The substance in which, or the reaction or the change in which one or more new substances are formed, so those kind of changes are known as the chemical changes. And a chemical change is also known as the chemical reaction. So now the question is that what is the importance of these chemical changes in our life? So chemical changes are very important in our lives. All the new substances are formed as a result of these chemical changes. For example, digestion of food in our body, then after ripening of fruits, fermentation of grapes, etc. happen due to the series of chemical changes. These all are the reasons of the chemical changes. The digestion of food that is happen in our body, then after ripening of fruits, the fermentation of grapes, these all are the chemical changes. And even the making process of medicine, and the medicine is the end product of the chain of chemical reaction. We are getting or taking medicine also by the process of chemical changes or the chemical reactions. And useful new materials such as plastics, detergents are produced by the chemical reactions only. And indeed, every new material is discovered by studying chemical changes. The new material which we are finding around us are the product of the chemical changes, or they are discovered by the studying of these chemical changes only. And we had also seen that one or more new substances are produced in the chemical change. And in addition to these new products, the following may accompany a chemical change. What is happening in the chemical change, or how can we observe that the chemical changes happen here? So here the some of the reasons or some of the things are given to you. The first one in that is heat, light or any other radiation that might be ultraviolet may be given off or absorbed. If the chemical change is happening or occurring, then this heat, light or radiation may be absorbed over there or may be released over there. Then after sound may be produced if the chemical change is happening. Then after a change in smell you will find may take place and a new smell may be given off. After the chemical change, you will find this difference in the smell, you will find the change in color, and you will also notice that in some of the chemical changes, the new gas is also formed. So these are the some of the characteristics you can say by which we can find that any change is chemical change or not. And you also that the burning of magnesium ribbon is a chemical change, same as that burning of coal, wood or leaves is also a chemical change. And in fact the burning of any substance is the chemical change, as after burning we cannot get back the original substance or the new substance is formed after this reaction. So these all are the chemical changes. And burning is always accompanied by the production of heat. After this burning process, you will find that there is the production of heat is there. So these are the chemical changes. Same as that, one another example is also that is explosion of fireworks. So it is also the chemical change. So you already know that such an explosion produces heat, then after light, sound and unpleasant gases, that means the gases of bad smell that pollutes the atmosphere. So these all are the new materials which are formed. So that is why you are advised not to play with fireworks, and this kind of change is also chemical change. The another one is when food gets spoiled, it produces a foul smell or bad smell. So shall we call this change a chemical change? So yes, it is the chemical change, the spoiling of food. And you must have noticed that a slice of an apple acquires or it will get a brown color if it is not consumed immediately. If we will immediately not eat the apple, then you will find that after some time you will notice brown color on the apple, cutted apple. So if you have not seen this change in color, cut a fresh slice of apple and keep it away for some time and repeat the same activity with this slice of potato or brinjal. The change of color in these cases is due to the formation of new substance. So now the question is, are not these changes chemical changes? So these are the chemical changes as the new substance is formed during these changes. And in chapter number 5, you had studied the neutralization of acid with base. So is the neutralization a chemical change? So yes, the neutralization process is the chemical change as the reaction between the acid and bases. After this reaction we will find the salt and water, which are the new substance. So these are the examples of chemical changes. Now Here the Bujaho and Paheli has some question that we learned in chapter number 1 that plants produce their food by a process called photosynthesis. So can we call photosynthesis a chemical change? So yes, it is the chemical change as from the carbon dioxide, then after sunlight and nutrients from these all materials the plant make its own food, and the food is the new substance. So this is also a chemical change. And Paheli is also saying that even digestion in our body is also a chemical change. Here one protective shield is given to you. About some information about the protective shield is given. You must have heard of ozone layer in our atmosphere. You had seen that, or you might have heard that the ozone layer is there around our earth, and it protects us from the harmful ultraviolet radiation which is coming from the sun. So how it is helping us or protecting us? So ozone absorbs this radiation and breaks down to oxygen. So in this change the ozone converts into oxygen by absorbing the radiation. So oxygen is the different form from the ozone. So now can we call the breaking down of this ozone a chemical change? So yes, here we are getting oxygen, which is a new substance. So this process is also a chemical change. And if the ultraviolet radiation were not absorbed by the ozone, it would reach the earth's surface and cause harm to us and other life forms. So now it is given to you that what happens if there will be no ozone layer. So the ultraviolet radiation which are coming from the sun will not be absorbed by the ozone, and it would directly reach to earth's surface, and which will cause the harm to us as well as the other life living organisms on the earth. So ozone acts as a natural shield against this radiation. So this is the importance of the ozone layer. So till now we had seen what is the chemical and physical changes. In the next video we will see the remaining part of this chapter. Thank you.